I'd like to thank the BaconBit for this award.
You got Jurassic Park playing.
I don't know why Jurassic Park is playing in the 92nd Academy Awards, but welcome to this BaconBit where we're talking about...
Well, Eminem did.
Yeah, that was my joke. Or why Eminem was there. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yep. But yes, the Oscars have completed. Happy Valentine's Day. The Oscars have completed.
Hey.
And we are going to be announcing very shortly the winners of our Oscar contest.
Nice.
But as you know, we had an Oscar ballot contest where we had you go out there and everyone put their entries in, and we have another tie for the winners.
And honestly, really good voting there, guessing there.
A lot of people did a really good job. But we'll get into that a little more when we talk about the stats. But let's get it right out of the way right here at the beginning. The winners of the Baconsale 92nd Academy Award Oscar contest are Alicia Bass.
Woo!
And Geraldine.
Just Geraldine?
That's all it says.
Geraldine.
I don't know who Geraldine is. I know who Alicia Bass is, but congratulations to both of you.
Alicia is the best.
Yeah. So, and Geraldine probably is too. But
second best.
Reach out to us. We'll be reaching out to you, and we'll get you those $50 gift cards for the movie passes. Thank you to everyone who participated.
But you have to go out with each other. That's the only way it works.
What did they score as? Like, what were their scores?
We'll get into that right now.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that. So we had quite the range of scores, ranging everywhere from 6 points out of a possible 31.
Some people
Well,
went with their
remind how
hearts.
because we had different questions were ranked differently or rated differently.
Yeah. We had the big five were ranked a little heavier than the other ones, but we have a total of 31 points. We ranged everywhere from 31 points to 25 points. Mm-hmm. And Alicia and Geraldine were the ones that got 25 points. So congratulations on getting those.
Wait, you said from 31 to 25. So 20.
No. We had the range. The total number of possible points was 31.
Right.
6 to 25 was the range
So
of possible.
the highest was 25. 6 to 25.
Yes.
That's what I was wanting you to clarify. Yeah.
We're bad at math here.
Yes, we are. And so we had it was
6. Man, should we call out who did that?
The funniest one was like most people, like when you look at the ones when they got like the most correct responses, most people guessed the correct ones when they sided with us a lot of times.
Okay.
Like original screenplay, most people got that one right. And best adapted screenplay, visual effects, most people got that one right.
They probably just knew as well, Joel, that's all.
But then,
they know better than to listen to kids.
Makeup
anyway.
and hairstyling was one of the biggest ones everyone got right. Most people guessed Bombshell.
Right.
But then the one that got people most tripped up, Best Picture.
Yeah.
Only 3 people guessed that correct, one of which was Geraldine.
Yeah. Big surprise of the show.
Yeah. But I was going to say the only 3 people to get Best Picture right, by the way, were Brandon Davis, Duncan Jewell, and Geraldine. So congratulations, you 3 for picking the one we're going to talk about in a sec.
I think everything else is voting, and Best Picture is always like a strategic choice. I feel like they
Do you feel?
Yeah, for sure. Like,
do you want to talk about this right now?
Let's get into it when we talk about Best Picture.
All right.
So one thing that we thought was funny, and this is just one of those things, is that we found out after we recorded, we were trying to figure out how many answers we had in common, and we found out that Jacob and I disagreed only on one category.
It's eerie, actually.
Visual effects. So
Eerie?
Jacob
Why
was
is it
obviously
eerie?
copying off my paper the entire time. I don't know how he got access to it, but
I also question that because Jake usually wins somehow. He is the Street Fighter
And by
button masher.
usually, you mean every time we've done this.
Yeah, and I don't
Is
get
that what
it.
you
we
mean?
tied
Because
last year.
You watched,
That was the closest I've come to losing.
Here's what makes me mad as a film lover.
Right.
You watch the least amount of these movies, and you win every year. I watch all of them.
Because he goes to
and
the
I
website and
lose
copies their answer.
every year. I lose every year.
So, but we don't know. We haven't talked about this year
I
yet.
lost.
We don't know. But
Like third place.
Jacob and I disagreed on one, visual effects, and Kent went his own way on adapted screenplay, visual effects, sound mixing, costume design, adapted feature, and directing.
It is a fun paradox because you guys know way more about film, and that makes sense.
And I care.
We
And
don't
you
know.
care.
We
And you
don't know
care.
who won yet. We'll get to
I
that
lost.
at the end of the show. End of the show, we'll get to that. So I wanted to bring up some points. By the way, Joker, 11 nominations, only 2 wins.
Mm-hmm.
The Irishman, 10 nominations, 0 wins.
Right?
And that's fair.
So yeah, I just
Have you seen Irishman?
I have.
Okay.
that was just kind of like the most.
How about that?
The most nominations of the night. The most nominations of the night with the least amount of wins. I was kind of surprised by that. The most awards of the night though went to Parasite. It got 4 different awards.
Ask me if I've seen that one.
And guess who was also surprised by that? Bong Joon-Ho.
Yes,
Did not
he
expect
was.
to be up there on stand.
The TV ratings for this year's Oscar ceremony were the lowest in history. They were down to 23.6 million as opposed to 29.6 million from the previous year.
Down 6 million when it was already down.
So last year was the first year they tried it without a host. I think people were curious, even though the ratings were down again from that.
Well, they also moved it up, too, so there was less time to promote it. Yeah. They were backwards in that thing.
And now that we have another non-hosted show, people don't care.
When there's not a host, it's like, well, they're not taking it seriously. Why should we?
There's no personality to it. You don't attribute it to any Billy Crystal, for example.
So the thing is, they didn't have a host, but they had people presenting who were presenting the award. It was really bizarre. Yeah, they had like someone in the crowd.
I should say I didn't watch. This is the first time I haven't watched in a while. I had
for example,
some other stuff going on, but
like, hi, I'm going to be in The Heights, and I'm going to present Lin-Manuel Miranda presenting another person.
That's stupid.
Yes. It really was. Like, it was like, why are we wasting our time with this?
Dumb.
Well, it's a time waster. This is a 3.5 hour show. People are annoyed or afraid of watching this because the time investment is too much.
It really is. It is. And it just gets to the point where it's like, why would I want to watch the whole thing? In fact, I didn't watch anything until the very end. It was actually my anniversary, so I was cooking chicken parmesan and making fudge brownies.
Good job. Good
I was being a good husband. And I got over and I was like, okay, how about I just watch the last little bit? And she was perfectly fine with that. So I got to watch from the best director on.
Jake, did you watch it?
No, I had some.
You have
guests
Twitter
over
and you're smart.
Actually, I checked you guys first. Like, and
we didn't talk at all.
It was over, and I just checked Messenger, and I was like, "Oh, they haven't been saying anything. That's weird." Because usually we're like live tweeting this to each other.
I wondered if you'd been watching. I didn't want to bug Joel on his anniversary, so I'm like, "Oh, Joel, you won that one again," just distracting him. Because I watched the entire thing. I don't know why. Because
Why did you don't usually watch the whole thing, do you?
Well, I watch all of the Golden Globes and this one. Yeah, I generally do watch all of it, even though I hate it every single year.
So this year compared to other years, how do you feel?
Like as far as how the show went?
Yeah. I mean,
dull beyond belief, except for the end surprises. I watched it and I said, okay, predictable. Obviously, I'm not going to win because they started going... the pick started going away from mine,
right?
And I was fine with that.
Well, the whole thing's just way out of.
We don't know if you're not going to win. We haven't got to that point yet.
I lost.
He's already said that.
The end of the show was a big surprise, and I'm not saying it was a La La Land wins, doesn't win sort of surprise,
right?
But 1917 felt like a lock. It's in some categories.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Oh, I want to.
We'll talk about the specific categories as we do them because you saw each one of these awards. So as we get to them, I want to give your impression of like if there was anything unusual about the speech or anything.
Can we just do heavy hitters, or are you going to do every single?
We're just going to run through them real quick. So yeah, just talk about it. Oh, by the way, one of the things people are mad about this Oscar ceremony is they left Luke Perry.
I saw that.
And Cameron Boyce from Descendants. They left them out of the In Memoriam segment.
Yeah.
People were mad.
Yeah.
What's her bucket from the 90210? Locklear?
Yeah, Tori Spelling.
That's it. Tori Spelling. She's like, yeah, you left my dad out a few years ago, and now you left him out. Thanks a lot. You guys suck.
That's some anti-90210 bias right there.
I know, right?
Jeez.
All right, so jumping through this real quick.
I mean, you look at his filmography, and you're like, oh, I see why they didn't put him in.
Well, he was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right, but that was like... what else was
he in? A big movie
with?
at the awards?
Yeah, but I mean, how many movies has he been in?
Probably Sharknado 3.
Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of the trouble.
Rest in peace.
It's like hey, remember that TV actor from 20 years ago?
He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, TV acting 20 years ago.
That was a movie.
The movie.
Oh, well, that's worse.
Actually, it is.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
It's better than Tara. Anyway,
it's accurate.
We're getting a little geeky here, so let's just jump into this. So, actress in a supporting role, all three of us said Laura Dern in Marriage Story, and it was Laura Dern in Marriage Story.
Well deserved.
Which she actually gave a very loving tribute. I really liked it when she said, "They say never meet your heroes, but sometimes if you're really blessed, they're your parents."
Yeah,
and I was like,
"It's great."
Aw,
yeah.
And we thought she deserved that as well.
Scripted.
Well, they're actors.
Hey, compared to how some of these went, scripting works.
Oh yeah, I prefer scripting to some of these people. Going off book. Actor in supporting role, Brad Pitt. We all three said Brad Pitt Once Time in Hollywood, and the winner was Brad Pitt Once Time in Hollywood.
I was shocked by his performance that it was actually good.
Well, Brad Pitt's a great actor. What are you talking about?
No, he's an okay actor, and this was a really good performance.
No, out of all his roles, I think this is one of the more vanilla ones. He should have won for other ones, like
what?
Like 12 Monkeys.
Any of his 90s ones, honly.
Well, yeah. If you go back to the 90s.
So I felt like
he had some good performances back then.
It's a legacy award, I almost feel like, because I was like,
it's 12.
No, I liked it. His character stayed with me. I think it's probably Tarantino's fault, honestly, that it was a good character.
Yeah, and then he talked about the presidential impeachment, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Did he really?
He did, just a little jab.
Good times.
Original screenplay, all three of us said Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but it went to Parasite.
This is Parasite's first big win.
Yeah, they were pretty pumped about that.
Yeah.
And it was funny, because when they went up there, Bong Joon-ho doesn't speak English, so he had an interpreter up there with him. So that was kind of fun to He said things like, "Want to cut this in half with a Texas chainsaw," and I was like,
Yeah, it's
I love
pretty
that
great.
Translate that. Adapted screenplay. Kent said The Irishman. Jacob and I said Little Women, and it went to Jojo Rabbit.
It did.
That was
I
a
was
shocker.
actually pleased about that one.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You guys didn't like Jojo Rabbit as much as I did, and
What?
so
No, I liked it. Kid didn't.
you guys said it didn't
No.
belong up
You
here.
don't like it as much as Joel. That's accurate. Joel loves it.
You guys said it didn't
It's
deserve
fine.
to be in here with all these other nominees, and I'm
No,
like,
it
I
doesn't.
like
Best
it.
It
Picture
doesn't
goes.
deserve to be there. No,
I
but it's
think
very good, and I
great.
like it.
But it won adapted screenplay. Good on them. Which I was like, it was adapted, and I couldn't remember what it was adapted from. Was it a book or just adapted from World War II?
It's like
Adapted from Hitler
adapted
in World
from,
War II.
like, basic Nazi stuff. You know.
Yeah. Visual effects. And this was the crux. This was the one I was waiting for all night because this determined who was going to
Yeah, I
win.
actually said, please bless.
This is the
It's
only
not-
one.
I didn't
Please
want to win
bless
this
what,
one.
Kent?
I didn't want to win this one because that meant you guys would have tied.
So Kent guessed Lion King. I guessed Avengers Endgame. Jacob guessed 1917 because that's what someone told him to do. And it was
My mom.
1917.
It was my mom.
right.
My mom's
Your mom
very
did
wise.
not tell you to
Freya
watch
is
She's
very
1917.
excellent at this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
when I don't know, I'm like, Mom, what do you
visual
think?
She
effects.
hated Endgame.
1917 got the visual effects. I still think Avengers
she might have
Endgame
seen
should
that.
have
I don't
gotten
know.
it.
No, that thing is a blurry
No,
mess.
it never
It's
deserved to
the
win.
Legacy Award for all the visual effects they've been doing
Yeah,
all
but
these
they
years.
didn't do that with John Williams either.
Neither of your votes.
He's already
deserve to
got
get
like
it.
12 of them. Yeah. Like, Jacob, have you seen 1917?
I have.
Liar.
Freya has, and that's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
Sound mixing. Kent said Ford v Ferrari. Jacob and I said 1917. Jacob and I were right. Sorry, Kent.
It's all good. This is where I got confused because it was flipped.
It was. You picked the wrong one for the wrong one.
Yeah.
So you picked Ford v Ferrari when it was supposed to be 1917, and then you picked
sound
1917
editing
when it was supposed to be
4 v Ferrari won, where I picked 1917.
Yeah.
Which I was like, yeah. So sound editing, Ford v Ferrari won. None of us picked it. We all picked 1917. Live action short film. We all picked Brotherhood, and I still don't know why. Because out of the two that we watched, that I researched, The Neighbor's Window, which won, was the other one I researched the most, and I should have gone with that one.
Did you feel you should have chosen it?
Well, it was more like.
Didn't you think it was a little pervy?
Well, I wanted to know what the story was about, and then I
Yeah.
read the story, and I was like, well, I'm never going to watch that one. But that was kind of sad at the end.
Okay,
but
sure.
I don't know why they gave it to it, honestly.
It's my favorite short film of the year for sure.
Yeah, is that what Freya told you to say?
Yep.
Except for the short film animation, which was Hair Love. We all picked this one.
And we all got it right.
And
'cause
it's-
Hair Love
yeah,
was
and
the
it
winner.
won.
Really cool to see that one.
Yeah, that was really cute.
It was.
That was very cute. If you haven't seen Hair Love yet, look it up on YouTube. It's like 6 minutes long. It's adorable.
Yeah.
Documentary short subject. We all guessed learning to skateboard in the war zone if you're a girl, and that was the winner.
That's it.
Congratulations to
Title's
us.
great.
Sometimes the favorites win.
Yeah. The title's awesome. I don't know about the movie.
It is a
The
great.
trailer looked cool.
Yeah,
enough.
it
I
does.
cannot believe you haven't seen this one. How do you even sit here and vote with the rest of us?
So mad at you right now.
Well, speaking of which, documentary feature. Jacob and I said American Factory. Kent said Forsama.
Forsama.
American Factory won.
Yeah.
And I found out afterwards that it was actually the first movie that Barack and Michelle Obama's production company made. And I was like, I should have guessed that one because of that, but I didn't. But I still won.
Yeah.
So, original song. We all guessed "I'm Gonna Love Me Again" from Rocket Man.
Speaking of, so they as with the Oscars, they
And it won?
perform every song. And did you guys see Into the Unknown when they had every Elsa that did the voice? Oh, you didn't see this yet.
I saw a clip of a bunch of people singing.
So
I'm like,
you have
why are there a bunch of
Idina
people
Menzel,
backing?
and there's a backup singer named Aurora, and they sing Into the Unknown.
Yes, but have you even heard this original song?
I've even heard it. But they talk. Josh Gad came out and he was introduced by someone else. He came out and he introduced Idina Menzel, but he talked about how every international Elsa has, I think it was like 200, 300 different versions of Elsa have been out there. So Idina Menzel starts singing, and then they bring in all these international Elsa voices.
That's cool.
And they all did better than Idina Menzel.
Oh,
Yeah. Like there were some that were like Czechoslovakian, and there was like and but
that wasn't Czech at all.
Hold on, what were they like?
Yeah.
Oh God!
So many letters.
Back to me now. Yeah.
Send your hate to
We just
Candid
lost our
Baconsale podcast at
Czechoslovakian
gmail.com.
fans. But she was rushed through the song. Like it seemed she was a bit nervous, and the others were charmers. Anyways,
You thought they were cute.
but Elton John
that's
deserved
it.
the win. This was the best song, or
Of the
best
night?
original song of the year.
Better than Lose Yourself?
Oh my word!
Because for some reason they were talking about the songs that made an impact, and then they brought in Eminem, who won in 2003.
yeah, 2003
For 8 Mile, Lose Yourself, and then he performed the full song of Lose Yourself at the 2020 Academy Awards.
On the
Pretty
video
random.
behind him, it didn't even show like the history of music and film. It just showed scenes of a crowd from 8 Mile. So it's a dedication to himself, That is what 17
That was
years
actually
too
the
late?
first headline I saw at the conclusion. Is
Yeah.
It was like Eminem's on there doing "Lose Yourself."
A lot of white people
What?
head bobbing in the crowd. It's like,
Well, apparently got like a standing ovation or something.
Well, I heard there are
That's what the headline
I heard there are a
said,
lot of confused faces in the crowd at
Yes.
that moment. Like I've heard to go look up the clip because you can see people being like, "What?"
It's like the first time they've heard that song.
basically Billie Eilish. The whole time she's just looking quizzical at the stage. Like, what's going on?
Well,
Why
you know,
am I
she's
here?
12, so she's like,
Yeah.
True.
She's like, "What is this?
But
What are these
apparently,
walls and these people?"
When he won Best Original Song in 2003, he wasn't there to accept the award. So the Oscars are like, we got to get the kids. We got to get the kids watching.
"What do the kids like these days? They like that Eminem guy." By the way, speaking of Billie Eilish,
Eminem, because this is 2000, right?
so they had Billie Eilish sing yesterday, Beatles yesterday.
Yes.
When he came out as big, Billie Eilish wasn't born. It's true.
But that's the thing. So Billie Eilish performed yesterday during the In Memoriam segment,
Yes.
and she did fine when I
It was
wasn't looking at her.
Not great compared to ours.
But yeah, it was amazing. But she first of all,
I've actually had a couple people compliment you guys. I'm sorry.
Oh, thank you.
to tell you.
No,
this,
you can
but-
keep going.
when they have their when they did the close up though, she had these really really long black nails, like she was holding the microphone and just looked like claws. And then she looked like she was smelling something bad the entire time. Like she had her eyes closed and like her nose scrunched up, and she's like, "Yesterday."
That's the smell of popularity that she turns her nose up at.
Oh, is that it?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah,
That explains it.
You don't blame her.
Then original score, we all guessed Hildur Guðnadóttir. What?
Guten Dottir.
Let's go with that.
Yep.
Joker. The Joker score, we all chose that, and it won.
Yeah, it
First female composer to ever win this award.
Oh,
No.
that's very cool.
No?
Not true.
Oh, you're a
There's
liar.
been
I thought
some
they were
in the
trying to
90s.
make history.
It was
something.
Golden Globes. It was the first one.
Okay.
You're a
they actually
sexist
come.
falsifier.
If you listen,
Oh, my word.
Oh, I thought this was the debate show. Oh, I got it mixed up.
Oh,
that was
boy.
last week. Yeah.
production design, we all said Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It was indeed Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Makeup and hairstyling, Jacob and I said Bombshell. Kent said Joker. Jacob and I were right.
Yep.
That was the one that everyone got right.
Because they made 90s hairstyles.
The majority of the early 2000s.
Yeah, but
it was
Joker,
90s
it's like they
hairstyles,
put
let's
on
be honest.
clown makeup.
Fox News uses 90s hairstyles.
I wouldn't have picked that. Ken, I would have picked yours, but all the signs were
Yeah.
pointing at Bombshell, and
I
I,
went with
didn't
my
know
heart.
why. So, yeah. Costume design, Jacob and I said Little Women. Ken said Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for some reason.
Joel, I'm curious about your research. Did you?
I can tell you what I literally did.
Yeah. What did you do?
So I had my list there, and I went to, I'm not kidding, 20 different sites. And I would go through and just mark kind of each one. I'd mark as this one got a vote here, this one got a vote here, this one got a vote
So
here.
did you
this one got
used
a
to
vote
do
here.
that, or now that we're like competing, you've started doing that?
I used to do it, but then I used to go more Kent, where I'm like, I know a lot of people are saying it's going to be,
But I gotta vote for this 'cause it's what I
Bombshell,
want.
but I got to go for Joker because it's just better.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, objectively, this is what everyone's saying.
Because you're like, got to beat Jacob.
It's the right way to vote, honestly, with only head, no heart.
Yeah, it's sad though because
I know.
it's so predictable.
Yeah.
But it was Little Women. The frou-frou dresses got it. International feature film. We all said Parasite. It went to Parasite from
Absolutely.
South Korea. Congratulations to them again.
They expected that's where the winning would stop for them.
Yeah, he said this is when I thought my night would end. It didn't. Spoiler alert. In case you haven't seen the Oscars and are still listening to this Bacon Bit about the Oscars.
Yeah, everyone that didn't watch it is now listening to the Bacon Bit.
Yeah. Film editing. We all said Ford v Ferrari, and we were all right. Animated feature film. Jacob and I said Toy Story 4. And Kent said, I lost my body.
Watch both. Tell me which is better.
Yeah, but what about the movie?
It's not
What did
about
you
her,
choose?
which is better.
It's about who
the
the
winner
winner
was-
The Oscars choose Pixar every other year.
Yeah. Toy Story, Pixar gets every
I Lost
other
My
year.
Body's actually great. Toy Story 4 is a cash grab.
I haven't seen either.
Toy Story 4 is not, it's fine, but I prefer the trilogy. I don't like to go beyond that. And I do want to see I Lost My
Hashtag
Body.
Star Wars.
Cinematography, we all said 1917, and we were all right.
I said 10 Things I Hate About You.
Hey, right choice.
For
Cinematography.
Yeah.
for that helicopter shot at the end.
Yep.
Yeah, and the soft focus.
Actor in a leading role. We all said Joaquin Phoenix, and it went to Joaquin Phoenix.
I'm
for
really
Joker.
glad he actually did win.
So, but in the Golden Globes, he
was his
started off
speech
with the
anyway?
weird
That's exactly what we're going
speech.
to talk about.
Okay.
And
good.
then he won, I think, Producers Guild Award, and the speech was amazing. He thanked all of his fellow nominees. He was very clear in his speech. And he's won like 17 different awards for this performance alone.
Yeah. And this time he
it's
was-
varied. And then I'm like, okay,
And this time
it's
he
the
was
Oscars.
high on
Don't
cocaine.
be drunk. Don't be high. Please just put on a good face. And then he was Joaquin Phoenix.
Well, so he starts out
He does
pretty
this
good.
on purpose, though.
I think I explained it to someone else. Is like he gave a good speech, and then he had a stroke, and then he recovered. Because he starts out and he's like, we're all here because we have a love for film and filmmaking, and we all get to participate in this art together, and it's why we appreciate each other. And I'm like, yes, great. And then
we artificially inseminate cows and take their babies away and drink the milk that is only meant for calves.
He's not exaggerating. That's exactly what he said.
Oh, I can't wait to watch this.
And then he started talking about how...
By the way, no timer either.
Oh, he just went on and on and on and on and on.
How do they not have a timer?
It's insane. For the two lead actors,
they let him talk as long as they want.
Wow.
And then he kind of went on this weird diatribe about... He basically hit every single social and political cause in his speech. He's like, this one that's controversial, this one that's controversial, this one that's controversial. And it was just like, whoa, where did this speech go? And then he brought it back to my brother.
He started tearing up and he said, I want to read a poem that my brother wrote.
His brother, River Phoenix, who passed away back in the 90s.
His brother is River Phoenix?
Watching
put that together?
No, I had no idea. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I had no idea. How has this never come up?
I don't know.
This has come up a lot.
Nope, it hasn't. It has never come up. I would have remembered that.
He read a short blurb from a poem.
That's his
about
brother?
kindness. Yeah, about kindness.
Who knew?
And so
I did.
He started and ended.
No
good.
one knew that.
But that middle section, honestly, it was like people didn't know how to react. They're like, oh, he also talked about this whole thing.
I learned this great thing with you guys all at once. Just now,
It's educational. Baconsale.
Yeah.
He also had this whole thing where he says, like, I've done bad things in my past, but I hope we can all forgive each other. It was like he was almost asking for forgiveness for winning. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a little strange. Like, I almost thought he was going to give up the award or shoot somebody. That if he I was like,
true.
Please make sure he has no gun.
Have you seen this? Have you even seen this one, Kent?
Wait, Joker?
Yeah.
Look, I'm giving Jake right now, everybody. I know it's silent. It's a podcast.
And then actress in a leading role. We all said Renee Zellweger for Judy.
Well deserved. So nice to see her up there again. She was amazing in this role. And then she gave her speech.
And she won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gave her speech, though.
Now, her speech was one where I think...
Not political.
No, not at all.
More about heroes.
But it was like... You remember that...
Actually, could I give her speech succinctly?
Please.
Often we look to movie stars and sports figures as heroes, and not because they are heroes, because everyone is a hero. But these people unite fans, unite people, and bring us towards one cause.
That's good. Can you give the 7-minute version she gave?
Serena Williams, Venus Williams, Judy Garland, Albert Einstein.
And she kept doing things like, the thing about what we say when we do things in which we are upon, the thing that we do, like she was just kind of
like the South Korea.
I felt like she was
and
getting
the Iraq.
I felt like
even impersonating her is kind of boring me.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
And she went on really long. And at first I was like, oh, it's good, just a thank you speech. And then I went, oh, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down, sit down. You're rocking the boat.
Yeah, there you go.
But it was more, I think she was trying to get a point across and just rambling. Like it felt like that South Carolina Miss America one where it was like she kind of just...
Someone should have given her some lines is what you're saying. Yeah.
She should have scripted it.
It seemed she was a bit nervous. Like she meant well, and I'm glad it wasn't political, but 20 seconds.
Yeah, good for her, although I don't think I'm ever going to watch that movie, to be honest.
Yeah, for her performance, it's good, but it's a downer.
Then directing, we said...
I got this one right.
You did. This is the one where Kent and I said Sam Mendes for 1917. Kent said Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. We were like, whatever. And Bong Joon-ho for Parasite win. This is the only one Kent...
I wish I could bash on Parasite because I haven't seen it, but I feel snubbed from 1917 because that movie's beautiful.
From what I can tell...
fans as well.
From what I can tell, gentlemen, this is the only time Kent deviated from us and got it right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, oh, Sam Mendes is going to take this for sure. But I haven't seen Parasite, so I'm like, this is stupid. This should have been, but I haven't seen it, so it's not quite fair.
Well, let's get to the best picture so we can just talk about these two.
And then the best picture from the night, all three of us said 1917. And I think most people in the crowd were thinking 1917, which I think that only ended up winning like 2 awards.
Yes. It was almost largely snubbed. Roger Deakins got the award he deserved.
Yeah.
But it was kind of...
10 nominations, 3 wins.
Wait, so what were the wins?
Sound cinematography.
Cinematography.
Sound editing.
And Deakins
visual effects.
He's a cinematographer, I guess.
Remember visual effects, Jacob?
He should get that. Oh, I remember that one, yeah.
And so this one was meant to be the big winner.
This
in
movie
fact,
is
the reason
gorgeous. Did you guys?
I still haven't seen it.
Well, it is. Oh yeah, you haven't. It is gorgeous, and this was the safe bet. Keyword: safe.
Yeah.
This would have been the one where...
This is why I think it was strategic. I really think they get together
Explain, Jacob.
they're like, well, because it's for Best Picture, it's like, okay, it's very important how we're perceived by everyone. This is
because
just an
everyone's
optics
saying
choice.
everyone's saying Oscar's so white.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
None of the females,
exactly.
all the female directors were snubbed and put on Natalie Portman's coat.
Yeah, and making other women angry too. And
well, how would you, by the way, how bad do you feel if you're a female director who was not included on Natalie Portman's
How
coat?
rude.
That's just mean.
It's messed up.
Well, think
Everyone's
about last
offended
year.
by
So
everything.
Roma was a big movie last year, and everyone's like, "Oh, it may win. An international film may win Best Picture."
And that one should have.
and it didn't. And then Parasite came.
I like Parasite better than Roma.
Well, it is much better.
You like
and,
what? Will you like what better?
Parasite better than Roma.
And then Parasite kind of riding the coattails, like in the jet stream, basically, and going right up to the top.
Yeah.
Honestly, and it's never been an international film winning this. And Parasite is the one to choose.
That's
to be
why
honest,
they're like, okay, what can we do? We don't have this agenda or that
but you're
agenda or
taking
that
credit
agenda.
away.
What can we do?
Parasite.
I haven't seen it. So
Parasite. It's maybe not my favorite movie of the year.
Is it better than 1917?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And I can tell you that, like,
Much?
Much.
Because 1917 is amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
Much better.
Holy cow, that's hard to imagine.
But like watching the audience though, because I was watching this one live, and when they announced Parasite, it was like there were shockwaves just went through the crowd, and it was like, what?
Yeah.
Because they're freaking out. Because this is, as you mentioned, the first non-English film to win Best Picture ever in the history of the Academy Awards. And everyone was freaking out about that. And so, Jacob, I think you may be right. This could have been a political move of like, look how diverse and awesome we are. But also, it's a fantastic movie.
And Jake, the hype now when you watch Parasite, you'll be like, it's a cool thriller, but it's maybe not Best Picture winner.
Well, that's why I was never believing in it, because it was like, it's a thriller. So,
yeah, but it's not a thriller. It's a
1917.
It's a drama
about World War One.
It's a drama comedy thriller,
which makes it even less likely to win Best Picture.
Except for the character attachment in Parasite exceeds most of what happens in 1917.
I'm excited to see it, I guess.
But no, that's the problem. Is like Ken said.
But, I mean,
now that it's Best Picture, it's got like this cloud of weight above it, and people, it's never going to attain that.
Right? Yeah.
It's like it's like you mentioned with La La Land. You're happy La La Land didn't win because now people won't be like,
they won't be like, it's the artist. It's an overrated Best Picture.
Yeah.
Sorry, artist.
Just to give you guys a recap, we had on the line Date Night for the winner. Kent came in third place with 11.
We know
11 out of 24. Less than half out of the guess. I
got 13.
This isn't points here.
Oh, okay.
This is just strictly how many of these we got right.
But then it's a different scale than what we were just saying. So we have to do two scales.
No, well, we're doing our scale.
I lost.
Fine.
This is just for us how many we got right out of the thing.
11?
The listener did the points. 11 out of 24 correct guesses.
Man. Sorry, Kim.
Mine says 13.
I got 17 out of 24
Mine says
correct
13.
guesses. And Jacob got 18. So, Jacob, you get to take your wife out to date night. Congratulations on cheating and getting another asterisk next to your name.
I just cheat by looking into the future.
Looking at one site
Also
and picking their wins.
Using logic.
Let me know what the one site you went to was, because I'm going to use that next year too.
I never even went to the sites.
I'm not. I'll care too much.
Yeah.
Jacob, how did you pick your winners?
I just asked my mom.
No, I gave my process. What was your process for picking your winners?
I do a couple of things. I do an aggregate, so I'll glance around, see what kind of the public opinion is, and then I'll think, okay, what's the Academy going to want to project about themselves? And then I take that vote, and then
he's copying exactly what I did.
There's a third element as well, which is, and I do believe
voodoo
this
magic
is an artistic merit thing, which is I think.
So you take away the legacy award that Joel may use.
Yes. Yeah. Wait, what do you mean?
When I chose Avengers Endgame, that was the only thing we differed on was Avengers Endgame in 1917.
Yeah. So, and sometimes I've voted wrong, and you guys have seen this before, and I've actually gambled and gotten right on a couple of these in the past. Spotlight. I think I was the only one that guessed that.
Yeah.
And that was because I was like, no, I think there's an artistic merit there you guys aren't seeing, and then the Academy agreed. But sometimes I do that and it's wrong.
Also, fun fact:
Three Billboards, whatever, Missouri.
Yeah.
I leaned into that one hard, and I
the
lost.
top 10 highest box office earners have all won multiple Oscars, and the Avengers Endgame has none. Just want to put that out there.
So bizarre.
No, deserved.
It was a culmination award. It was a better movie than you give it credit, Kent. Much like Jojo Rabbit.
It's a culmination.
Better movie than you give it credit.
You need to watch 22 movies to enjoy it.
You guys are definitely better at movies. I mean, I think I've just maybe, and it's really, Joel, I mean, we tied last year and I got it by 1, so it's virtually a tie again, but.
Well, I just feel bad for Kent. That's what it is.
Poor
I feel
Kent.
bad
No, I expect when we did the show, I said I expect to lose, and I lost.
Well, when you voted for Lion King with your heart, I mean, I still
that was a little bizarre.
Honestly, there are a few things
You're
where
like,
I'm like,
Lion King. I'm like, do you just want to lose? Is
Yeah.
that it? You're just like,
Oh man, but yeah. So there you go. Congratulations once again to Alicia Bass and Geraldine for winning.
Good job,
we'll
ladies.
contact you on how to get your thing. And thank you for listening to this Bacon Bit. We hope you enjoyed the Oscars. And yeah, let us know what you think of the events, of the movies, if you watched the ceremony or if you didn't, or if you're going to give any of these a shot.
Or if you have any favorites.
Also,
maybe
can we point out Alicia Bass and Geraldine? Is that what I mean, they beat me by several. So yeah, I mean, they have 5 points more than me. It's awesome.
Yeah, good on them. And good on you for listening to Baconsale. Thanks again.
in Trianon.